When you look back, at least in retrospect, it was all about conservatism. It was the last time that both major parties nominated a conservative. And Coolidge was the incumbent. He had succeeded Warren Harding when Harding died in 1923. And as the incumbent, he was blessed with a very strong economy, had most of the tide running in his favor. The Democrats were considerably divided and were casting about for what to do. They had a very heated, divisive nominating convention in New York City in July of 1924, and a compromise candidate emerged. It was John W. Davis, who was an outstanding man, a fine candidate, and a very conservative public servant. He went on in the election to lose to Coolidge, and in some ways I think this election could be called a watershed election, because it was certainly the last time that both parties nominated conservatives. It was the last time that the Democrats nominated a conservative. It really signaled the end of the conservative wing of the Democratic Party.
Do you think it was because of that result the Democrats changed course?
Well, there had been it's interesting when you look back, and some of this is in the book, there had been a real struggle within both parties between conservative and progressive wings. In the Republican Party, if you look back, the first progressive president was Teddy Roosevelt in the Republican Party, and so there was this fight going on in the Republican Party between the progressives and the conservatives. And the same thing was going on in the Democratic Party. The first progressive nominee for president was William Jennings Bryan, and then Woodrow Wilson was elected as a progressive, and it was seesawing back and forth in both parties. And it's it could have gone the other way. The Republicans could have wound up being the Liberal Party, and the Democrats the Conservative Party. But because Coolidge was the incumbent, was a very fine president, I think, has not gotten nearly as much credit as conservatives think he should have in retrospect. He had a good, strong economy, ran an excellent campaign, and he was overwhelmingly elected. And the lessons that the Democrats took from that was, well, we're not going to try to be more conservative than the Republicans. We're going to veer to the left, and so far they've been very consistent in that.